Hello my dear viewers out there. I wanted to start off today's video by saying, I love Pilby. Listen to that cute little voice of his, who doesn't love Pilby? And it is because I love Pilby so much that I hate seeing him hurt. And I made a video about a month ago now, in which I tried my damnedest to do everything I can to stop Pilby from getting hurt. The second the Skull Tyrant appeared, I tried to kill him and found that it was impossible. However, while that video was nice and I was happy to do that kind of challenge, I think the opposite had to be done eventually, which is why today I'm trying to find out everything that can kill Pilby other than the Skull Tyrant. Now, Team Cherry did put enemies in Bonebottom's room. There's Acnids up above you. However, there's actually an invisible wall around here surrounding the city so that those enemies can never be brought down to hurt Pilby. Now, with glitches, you could stack enough rooms together using room duping to eventually spawn enemies in to kill Pilby. However, that setup is really difficult, and instead of that, why not just make your own enemies and make your own hazards? Yes, this is all new, and with the Architects mod, I've added a lot of traps and enemies so that I can see what will and what won't harm Pilby in the purposes of science. And Pilby definitely reacted to that, but we will see later today whether or not he dies to this pain and to these spikes. But he's definitely calm being right next to them, so hey, Pilby's got nerves of steel. It's just another reason to love the man so much. He is a warrior. I mean, if he survives Bonebottom, he goes all the way to far fields on his own. So he has to have some resilience to him, right? He made it past a lot of enemies to get there, and hazards. So I'm going to be doing a lot of research, and outside of just research, I think it's just going to be funny to see enemies who absolutely should never come in contact with Bonebottom run in and see if Pilby can survive them. So let's do it, my dear viewers. Now, to begin with, I wanted to find out exactly what the weakest enemy did to Pilby. But before I set up that weakest enemy, I don't want you guys listening to the Bonebottom theme for this whole video, so let's get some musical variety going, shall we? So, I spawned in the deadly Moss Grub, and he's coming on the offensive, and yeah, it kills Pilby. Incredible, really, because the Skull Tyrant running Pilby over makes sense for something that would kill a standard bug. This tiny little bundle of moss, this is the thing that is going to end your life, Pilby. I'm sorry, but it's just, I thought more of you than letting yourself die from this creature. But anyway, in my mind, that confirmed that basically every enemy in this game would be able to kill Pilby. That doesn't mean I didn't continue to test it, and I'm glad I did. But speaking of testing, you may ask yourself, Kilroy, how are you going to continue subjecting Pilby to these kinds of attacks? He's dead now. And while he is dead on this screen, and I would normally feel a lot worse about that, it turns out if you do the Herculean task of walking off screen and coming back on screen, you'll find that Pilby has immediately revived himself. And so has this freaking Moss Grub, so I'm gonna kill him. You're not killing my friend again. Yeah, it turns out this has nothing to do with any hacking or anything. This just happens. If Pilby does not die specifically to the Skull Tyrant event, he just comes back. The game treats it like it was a fake reality. So, good on Pilby, but bad on Pilby, because I'm sorry I will be continuously killing you over this video. So after the very high hurdle of the first Moss Grub, I thought I'd give Pilby an even easier challenge, the fourth chorus. A boss that, theoretically, he could have encountered at some point since he does go to far fields. And after the incredibly disappointing performance, dying to a simple enemy walking into his side, Pilby shows his absolute godhood here, as he is fully immune to all damage fourth chorus can deal to him. You see, those are direct hits from the claws of this mechanical automaton about 100 times the size of Pilby. And he is shrugging them off like nothing's happened to him. This is a man right here. This is a true buff bug if I've ever seen one. And it's fascinating to me because I assumed the second I saw him get run over by a tiny bug that any damaging hitboxes would just cause Pilby to die. I felt like that was a simple way to program this, you know? Just give him a hitbox that can be hurt by enemies. But apparently, that's not how it works. Team Cherry had to make things more complicated than that. So, he can get hit by an enemy's hitbox, but he can't get hit by attacks separate from the hitbox? I had no idea at that point, which is why I spawned a Claw Maiden. Claw Maidens have a ranged attack that they get from stealing enough of your silk, and they also have a melee attack. I wanted to see if the ranged attack would do absolutely nothing to it, and forget the melee attack. Based on what we know so far, theoretically, the Claw Maiden and the Claw Maiden's ranged attack just didn't hit Pilby. But theoretically, just by walking into Pilby, Pilby will die, based on the rules so far that we've learned. And those rules were correct, so yeah. Pilby will face tank a soul spear made out of the purest silk in the land, and then he will die from getting body checked. Not even body checked, he was lightly shoved aside by this creature. Pilby, what is going on with you? And you know who else could kill Pilby with these conditions being true, my dear viewer? Yeah, Chakra. All I did was challenge Chakra to a nice, friendly sparring match, and you know, I was having fun. I knew that her rings would never hurt Pilby, and she would never hurt. No, she would very much hurt Pilby. Chakra, you can't just go around murdering the sane and nice bugs of Pharloom. And apparently, she goes around killing you. If you're not fighting her in the place you're supposed to, Chakra will just kill you. She won't like let you respawn. So Chakra, you've now killed Hornet and Pilby. Now could you not kill Pilby again? I know I'm making a video on it, but I don't want Pilby to die. Okay, Chakra? Please. Chakra, this battle is over. Apparently this battle's not over, and nothing will stop you. You know, I bet you Garmon would be nicer than you are. Right, Garmon, we were always great friends. I feel like you were one of the most honorable people in Pharloom. Chakra apparently doesn't care for the lives of the common bugs, but I know you and Zaza do everything you can to save the lives of the innocent and the helpless around you. And Pilby is... Why are you doing this, man? Okay? I just wanted a nice casual sparring match. Is that so much to ask? And Team Cherry, why did you make it so that all these sparring matches kill you unless you were specifically doing them in one room in the game? Whatever. At this point, I thought I had pretty much devised all of the things that could harm Pilby from enemies. But unfortunately for Pilby, there's a lot of other things that can damage you in Hollow Knight Silksong. Most of them fall under the bucket category of hazards. One of the hazards includes spikes falling from the sky and impaling Hornet, or in this case Pilby. Except, not in this case, because Pilby is a true demon when he wants to be, a higher being of his own, and he will just sit here with spikes embedded in his body, and he doesn't care about it. He will care if an enemy slightly grazes against him, but not spikes, and not lava either. I spawned a lava fall right on top of Pilby, and he'll just talk with you casually. You know, it's a nice warm bath for him. I think this is how Pilby gets to far fields. He doesn't give a single care about any of the horrifying, deadly traps and environmental hazards around him, but he does care about the enemies, so he does have to be careful about bumping into them or he'll explode. And at this point, I thought I'd figured out that really the only thing that could ever hurt Pilby would be an enemy's hitbox. And that's when I started to question, some enemies in this game don't have damaging hitboxes. Would they be able to live alongside Pilby in peace? I wanted Pilby to finally meet some enemies in Pharloom and genuinely be able to get along with the creatures. These enemies are normally only found on the surface, and they are the only enemies in all of Hollow Knight Silksong that can't hurt you by doing anything at all. And they can kill Pilby. Pilby, my man, I love you, but what are you doing? You're dying to the literal creatures who have no ability to cause anything to die. They are meant to be a symbol of creatures growing weak because they're not faced with hardships and you just died to them. What are you doing? So yeah, having a damaging hitbox is not what kills Pilby. Pilby dies to the weakest things alive. Okay, I'm sorry Pilby, I don't mean to continuously be mean to you. And they aren't the weakest things in all of Pharloom. There are these birds that you can go around the map and see running away from you. They literally do nothing to anyone in this world. And, you know, I want Pilby to be able to meet a creature. One of his first dialogue is that he's lonely and appreciates company. But he doesn't appreciate the company of birds, no siree. The Pilby does not revel in friendships with anything, because the second he does, he explodes and keels over. Pilby is one of the few creatures in this entire world who will tank direct hits over and over again from the 4th chorus and will die when confronted with a bird flying past his face. Pilby, what is the point? Why give you such specific death circumstances that these things can be said and be factual statements? I want to at least end this video with giving Pilby some kind of friendship. And to that end, I picked 3 creatures who can't move. The perfect creatures to help Pilby appreciate the life around him and to hopefully make friends. Maybe if he reaches out and pets one, he won't explode. But after what we've learned in this video, there's a sad chance that he might. So hey, at the very least Pilby, you can appreciate your new friends from the distance. You can look upon them and be happy that you have been able to meet some creatures in Pharloom that you never would have been able to see otherwise. Or you can just die, you know. Yeah, Pilby's a lost cause, everyone. Thank you for watching this video. I have to keep telling myself I like Pilby because I think this experiment would have made a normal person hate him. Have a good day, everyone.